Weather for Weather Geeks time here on July the 19th. It's Tuesday evening. Welcome back, everyone. I thought I'd start today with a little review of our winning streak. We're on a 26-day streak here of being right within 2 degrees on the daytime high temperature. We call this the 2-degree guarantee. Our forecast today was 82. It actually overachieved a little today, made it to 84 this afternoon. We have our 2016 accuracy up to 76% now. More than 3 out of every 4 days are we right within 2 degrees. You're not going to find those kind of numbers from any other weather source on your phone, on TV, online, anywhere. And we're not just whistling Dixie when we talk about the 2-degree guarantee. There's no fudging of the data here. This is all, above the board and legit, and I've got really crazy detailed spreadsheets that, that spit out these numbers, and it is absolutely the truth. All right, so let's take a look at the country this evening. We've got a few severe thunderstorm watches, a couple of small ones, really. One near the U.S.-Canadian border, one around St. Louis, the other down along the Tidewater in Virginia, and a scattering of monsoon thunderstorms across the Four Corners region, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah. Our weather, of course, nice and quiet today. It was a nice sunny day across northeast Ohio and western PA. Let's talk about the moisture content in the atmosphere. Here's a look at the dew points tonight. We'll see mostly dew points in the 50s here. Notice our wind, mostly light out of the north tonight. That funnels in that drier air from Canada. Look at the dew points off to the west, though. It is ridiculously moist out across the Midwest. Yeah, this happens in the summer to them. It's nothing all that unusual. I think tomorrow is another day with dew points in the 50s. It's going to be pretty much a repeat of today. The sun will be out. It'll be warm, but not all that humid. So one more day to enjoy before Thursday isn't that humid just yet, but it's certainly warm. We'll make a run at 90 on Thursday. Notice our dew points in the afternoon and evening. Kind of I-71 kind of splits Ohio to the west, very muggy. To the east, not so muggy just yet. But then that higher dew point air gets in Thursday night and Friday. We're firmly in the juice here on Friday. Look at the dew point in Columbus, maybe 76, 78 Indianapolis. Ugh, this is, no fun, this kind of an air mass heading our way. And speaking of no fun, these heat index values across the Midwest are kind of just amazing. I mean, again, this happens a handful of times each summer out here. You have a part of the country that, of course, has a lot of corn crops. Corn crops actually sweat. They release moisture into the air, and so it is a way to kind of bump up the dew points more than they would if the corn wasn't there. And it produces heat index values like this when you have temperatures in the 90s to around 100. Heat index in Des Moines Wednesday afternoon, maybe 111. On Thursday, look at Minneapolis, 117. Now, even if these numbers are too high by 5, 6, 7 degrees, it's still a heat index of 105. It's still life-threatening for people in this part of the country for the next few days. This is the kind of heat that can kill people, and many people are surprised when they hear that heat is actually the #1 weather-related killer in the U.S., followed by floods and then tornadoes. Tornadoes aren't even in the top 2. It's heat and then floods. And this is the kind of heat that can cause a lot of problems. Thankfully, the core of this incredible heat is going to be centered to our west. That said, as we take a look locally at our heat index values, this is based off just one model, just the GFS, but I think it's in the ballpark. Friday, this is nothing to sneeze at. It's not 111, but heat index values could be in the mid-90s on Friday. I think the worst of the heat's probably over the weekend. Heat index values, it's possible these numbers are within shouting distance, close to 100. Even if the heat index is 97 in your backyard on Saturday, it's still awfully hot. It's the kind of heat that you just got to take frequent breaks if you're exerting yourself outdoors. If you have a pet, we just adopted a dog a year and a half ago. We're still learning how to be dog owners. And a lot of people are in that same boat. And if you're a dog owner, you don't want to leave your dog outside in the sun with these types of conditions. And if they've got to be outside, make sure they have plenty of shade available and plenty of fresh water as well. And as you can see, heat index values on Sunday still probably within shouting distance of 100. So this will be some of the worst heat we've had in a while. When we look back since 2012, our hottest temperature, 91, we've reached it several times, including this year. Twice this year, once last year, and then 3 times back in 2013. But it's been since 2012 since we've had a temperature warmer than 91 at the airport. 2012 was a very hot summer, and it peaked early in July with a high of 98. Yikes, thankfully that's not in our forecast here. And you may or may not know that there is kind of a loose definition of a heat wave. Now, this definition varies by region across the country and across the world, but generally when we're talking about our part of the country, we consider a heat wave to be 3 or more consecutive days of 90-degree plus temperatures. This would certainly not apply in a place like Atlanta, and certainly not Phoenix, but in our part of the country, 3 straight 90-degree days basically constitutes a heat wave. We haven't had one of those since exactly 3 years ago, back in July of 2013. While it was only 90 or 91 each time, we had 3 in a row. We might squeeze in 4 in a row. We might have 90 plus Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that is what our forecast is for. All right, as far as any precipitation goes, again, none tomorrow. We're looking good into Thursday. This front, I was concerned yesterday that this warm front might try to produce a sneaky thunderstorm Thursday. Looks like that threat's going to stay to our west because the front is a little slower. Notice I showed you a minute ago the dew points stay in check on Thursday. The warm, humid air isn't quite here just yet, so better chance of thunderstorms Thursday in Dayton, Cincinnati, maybe Columbus. We have a better chance of seeing a thunderstorm or two on Friday as this weak cool front, and this is a front that's washing out. Basically, we won't even be able to draw it on the map by Friday night. But it'll be close enough that it might try to squeeze off a thunderstorm or two on Friday. If we manage to get a storm here and there Friday, a lot of juice in the atmosphere, could be a strong storm here and there on our Friday. We're looking for rain anywhere we can get it. We don't want severe weather, but we need the rain. Looking at the long-range models, I don't see a wet pattern coming. I see a pattern that's going to produce occasional showers and storms. This is the 10 to 20-day period on the latest climate model. The blue colors here indicate slightly, perhaps above average precipitation. Notice some of that blue is trying to go through the Great Lakes, the Midwest. So this is the pattern that's going to produce the occasional shower and thunderstorm. Is it the kind of pattern that's going to produce a lot of wet days? No, it doesn't look that way. We need a pattern that's kind of a rainy pattern. It stinks if you have outdoor plans, but in order to catch up, we're slipping into a moderate drought, so we need a rainy pattern, and I just don't see that developing in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for watching the Tuesday Night Weather for Weather Geeks. Don't forget our RNC coverage tonight, in-depth coverage at 11 o'clock, which means a little less weather in the newscast than I would like, but that's the way it goes when you have a big story like this in your backyard. So if you tune in at 11, you'll see a shorter weathercast, but still, I encourage you to watch, and I think our election coverage is great, and I hope you think the weather forecast is great as well. Have a great night.